let it be spring.
It could be winter.
Yes, but you have a summer's day during winter. That's all.
But it is winter.
It is definitely still winter. I get you.
This is fantastic what we're going through right now. Today was perfect. It's warm, warmer.
Warmer.
And I put the dog out this morning, and he sadly walked out to the door.
Yeah, that dog's been on a Sandals resort for the last 2 days.
Let me tell you, I watched him the other night. He was sleeping on his back with his fours all up, pointing to the sky. And I said, dog, your time's coming. So it came today. Bye, see you.
The weather's warming up for the dog to be outside again.
And
got you.
He has a tendency, I have a sliding door, so he has a tendency of scratching on the door, standing up tall and scratching on the door like, let me in, I'm out here. Well, it won't be none of that tonight.
I won't tell you the joke I was told earlier this week, but there was someone who, I can't give it away. Let me try to see how I can say this. Well, let's put it to you this way.
Right.
There was someone who was, gave me a message that they were at a house.
Yes.
And they were freezing, but the homeowner's pets were very warm and had 2 heaters in them.
That's what I'm talking about.
And my man said, pets, I'm freezing. Ain't no way I'm going to be cold and you're going to be warm. I hope I haven't cost him his fixture. Please. Look, if you know what I'm talking about, please do not punish that fella. That's a good man. He was just freezing, and your pets were well taken care of. And he thought,
yes, I
should be taken care of too. And I believe he was right. And in fact, if you're listening, I'm sure you would want him to be taken care of too.
Of course.
I'm sure.
Yes.
All right. So yes, it is there. Is there anything else about the weather that you want to get? If not, no?
No, I just hope this continues because, it's like we're thawing out type,
Already?
I mean, really look at it. We had hail. Some people were calling it snow. I got to report that it was snow. I had to investigate, and I see that it was hail. So, that's a sign. When you see hail,
But just think, your grandchildren may say one day, hey, were you around when it snowed in Bermuda? Or was it? And you'll be able to say, something? Yes. And then tell them a wonderful story rather than, I don't know, it was too cold to be anywhere. It was too cold. I don't know.
I hate to disappoint you, but guess what? I'm old enough to have had experiences with hail before. So this ain't nothing new.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about your grandchildren.
But I'm talking about this one. You didn't have to go through this one.
Oh, got you. Yes. It was no pleasure.
Yeah. My past experiences, guess what? That's enough for me. Thank you.
No problem.
But I'm grateful for every day anyway. So,
absolutely right. From you have life, you have everything.
Well, it's an experience.
That's how the reggae song goes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. From you have life, you have everything.
You have everything.
There we go. There is one thing that I would like to deal with before we, I suppose not before we go on, is as we go on.
Yes.
And I'm grateful for the people who sent messages to you, to me, and to others. I'll just leave it as others. To let me know something that happened on Monday. I wasn't entirely sure, so I want to deal with it now.
Sure.
So on Monday's show, I think what came across, what was broadcast, was that we had a visitor in the studio, and they had a message from someone who thought I had made some errors on air.
Yeah.
Suffice to say that there are 2 things around this. Three. Number one, this show and this man is most definitely not above correction, criticism, or even insults. Trust me, I get enough of all 3. Not many praises, a ton of the others, right?
Yes.
And so, by all means, that's easy.
Yeah.
But so on Tuesday, and so that's number one. Number 2, you are listening to, and I'm going to be very direct about what I'm about to say. But currently, those who are listening to me are listening to a black man, a black Bermudian man who will avoid having any permanent issue with another black person because the stakes are just too high.
Yeah.
We've come through an oligarchy and everything else, and I know most of how we think about each other isn't how we would have thought about each other if this country had been governed more equitable. If the hams were not obviously one way and have-nots obviously another way.
Amen.
So I don't hold anyone at first. I'm always in the why, right? I'm the idiot that, let's say I got in a fight, somebody slapped me, like, well, why you hit me, right? Rather than, why you hit right back? My thing, I'm always in the why. So I did have a very, very, very good call yesterday. The gentleman who thought there had been a correction or needed. There wasn't one needed, so that's why I'm not bringing you one today.
Yes.
But we had a very good conversation.
Okay.
In fact, we were giggling and all sorts, right? And it's just unnecessary. To be honest, I did bring something with me that I was going to use and do and say later on.
Okay.
But it kind of, you know what? I think I figured out if I should do it now or later, because it kind of feels relevant now, but I did have it to do later.
Well, let's do it now.
Okay, well, you say something while I find it.
Okay, Dan. It's important to know that, in particular, black men, there are solutions to our disagreements or what we may think, but it's also something when somebody tells you something and it ain't accurate.
Indeed. So, I have a speech with me from 1967.
67?
Indeed.
Okay.
And I originally found this speech for a whole completely different reason. Had absolutely almost nothing even to do with the show.
Right.
But once I saw it, I read it, downloaded it, and read it.
Okay.
And this speech, I believe, might be one of the most misunderstood, maybe one of the most misunderstood speeches in politics.
Okay.
The reason why I say that was because when I was told about this speech, I thought the contents went one way. They actually go in the complete opposite direction. So what I thought the speech did, it actually does the exact opposite. So I'm going to... You're right, what?
No, I'm going to say this a little later, that's all.
You sure?
It's got me jumping in my seat, but I'll say it later.
But do you know...
It's not related to this, no.
We can go now, are you sure?
No, I think it's best we do it later, honestly.
Okay. So, I want to put some context to this before. I'm not going to read the whole speech, but there's some excerpts. And I think that I find it relevant for now rather than for later, because of what sort of came about. As I don't even need to read all of the excerpts that I've marked, but I do want to deal with this a bit.
Sure.
So, if you go back, I have read excerpts from a book in 2012 written by Dr. Hodgson, The Experience of Racism in Bermuda, right? And she speaks about that. And within it, I read out a section where she speaks about the need for racial equality in Bermuda, that black Bermudians or black people globally need people who are constantly at the wheel to bring equality or equity. And that she felt the PLP did not embody that by pursuing a labor philosophy rather than a racial equality. And she was saying that every black person knew about racial inequality.
Yes.
Not all of them knew about socialism or communism and things that the PLP were being labeled with.
Yes.
So there was an issue about how politics, and you can put it on the PLP or whomever you wish, but how politics brought a division to the black community that did not exist in the white community.
Okay.
And as a younger man, when I've looked at a lot of that, I have identified black male friendships as, or views of each other, whether friend or enemy or frenemy,
yes,
being central to the development of equity and equality in this country.
Yes.
So, for instance, I've been told in the past that there was a great deal of respect and friendship between Freddie Wade and Jones Horn.
Yes.
If that's true, what did that do for us as a country? Why were two people personally friends, politically enemies, and that's where the progress was needed in politics?
Yes, it's true. I got you.
Okay. And oftentimes, particularly in the Black Bermudian community, we know things about each other, hear rumors about each other, that then impacts progress.
Yes.
And so I often, when I've read some of the speeches that Walter Roberts made, when I've read some of the things that I'm going back, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, you get to the point you think, man, if all these guys were on the same team, where would we be with race relations in this country?
Yeah.
Got me?
Yeah.
And that wasn't an issue that bothered the white community, right? We needed the unity. We needed the political progress. We needed the legislative unity, right? That's,
yes.
And so we find ourselves divided in terms of, or not divided, but the black sort of progress or social progress or upward mobility or social dynamics in the country are tied to, quite often,
yes,
relationships that people have that have nothing to do with us.
Yes.
And so, bearing that in mind, there was no chance Monday was going to lead to any kind of drama. It just never ever. But this speech highlights my point. The speech, and I'm just going to read excerpts of it. Quite frankly, I'm going to be straight up honest with you. It was difficult reading. Okay, and I say it often, right? We read some stuff. Okay, and if I say it's a little difficult to read, it's not going to be difficult for you to hear,
right?
But it was difficult for me to read, given the history, the social progress or not since this speech, and what the demographic data shows about where black, white, expat, Bermudian, resident, all of it, where we are.
Yeah.
So it was difficult to read this because this was a sincere, albeit politically nasty, speech. But consider this person made this speech with all honesty, all sincerity, and think about where we are today. Got me?
Yes.
So I'll give one more caveat. The speech was made at City Hall to the UBP party.
Okay.
The second thing I need to say is it was made in 1967. To give some context, in 1959, we had the theater boycott. In 1963, the PLP was formed. In 1964, the UBP was formed. This speech is given in 1967. Sorry, the PLP was formed in 63. Yes. The UBP was formed in 64. In 1966, we had a constitutional conference. In 1968, we had that constitution.
Yes.
And this speech was made in between the constitutional conference of 66 and the constitution of 68.
Okay.
Yes. Now, it may not make sense because the way I'm going to read the excerpt, I'm going to bounce around just because I want to sort of make the point. So it's not in context. I'm not reading this to be fair to the person who gave this speech. I'm reading it to particularly highlight some of the issues that I'm getting at. Okay. The speech is called Am I Being Used? By Dr. Clarence James.
He was my grandmother's godchild.
Then I'm sorry for what I'm about to do to your grandmother's godchild.
No, fact on me.
No, I'm not. I'm joking. Please, that was just for the listeners to get a little joke. I think for one moment. Come on, Billy, you do be better than that.
Well, guess what? I laugh first. You all right? You're cool? You're with us, right?
Mate, that was wrong. In any event.
Right.
Can I? The reason why I said this speech is done on 180 was back in the day, early 20s, I heard about this speech.
Okay.
And into my 30s, I still heard the speech was one that within certain stuff all over the place here. This speech was one that in certain places was thought to be the speech that indicated black members of the UBP were being used.
Yes.
And so the title, Am I Being Used? In at least Alaska Hall, the answer was, of course, Dodo.
Yes.
Yeah? Because we thought that's what the speech was.
Yes.
No, this speech is, am I being used? Oh, you're your mind? That's, if I had to finish the title, that he would say, and he'd be rude about it.
Yeah.
Like, don't be so stupid. That's, so, am I being used? Don't be so stupid.
Right.
All right. So, in the beginning, he speaks about the segregated educational system in Bermuda, and then says, once abroad, he went away to school. Okay? Yeah. Once abroad, I suffered through a period of adjustment to an integrated educational environment at McGill University. This adjustment took real effort on my part for the first year or two. Okay? And now the excerpts really begin. I also became keenly interested in the problems of racial discrimination in general, and especially those problems as they affected Bermuda, my home. Dr. Gordon and others made Bermudians aware that the root of the problem was the lack of universal franchise, which particularly affected the colored segment of the population. Universal franchise is everybody having the right to vote.
Yes.
So he's saying Dr. Gordon said that was the issue that was holding back equality in Bermuda.
Right.
Okay? So the lack of universal franchise, which particularly affected the colored segment of the population. This I believed and still believe to be an accurate appraisal of the basic cause as far as Bermuda is concerned. So I followed with interest the events which led up to the mixed land and universal franchise used in the 1963 elections. The plus property vote is what he's talking about. So universal franchise, but then they were given the plus vote.
Yes.
In 63. That's what he's alluding to. I returned home just prior to these elections. I actually joined the PLP at that time because I felt the party was sincere and completely in support of racial integration in Bermuda. I vigorously supported the protest against the lack of true universal franchise and the gerrymandering of the electoral districts. But during the succeeding years, I sadly noticed in the PLP a growing movement to abandon their early claim to foster racial integration. They developed an increasing and persistent disassociation from all sincere efforts to promote racial integration in such a way as to produce results. I want to pause there. Now, he says that the PLP, in his narrative, was sincere about racial integration.
Yeah.
Okay? And so he joined them. But he says that they abandoned their early claim to foster racial integration. So, again, somehow he believes they gave that fight up. Now, I'm going to explain to you what I think is going on here by the last sentence. They developed an increasing and persistent disassociation from all sincere efforts to promote racial integration in such a way as to produce results. What do you think that means? How is his definition of racial integration different from the PLP's, and his is likely to produce results? Okay? And so without defining racial integration, the only issues we generally have around racism, systemic in particular, is segregation, integration. But who defines integration? Right? What does that look like? Right? Is it, and so I'm going to keep reading because, anyway, so as in a way to produce results. That phrase, as to produce results, is the perennial issue amongst the struggle for equality on this planet. Okay? Malcolm and Martin, Marcus and Martin.
Yes.
Okay, but you can look at it, Swan and Wade.
Yes.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So let me go on. The PLP trend has proceeded in recent months to the point of a virtual hate campaign. The hate campaign, if allowed to gather steam, will eventually lead to a division of the races and to destruction of Bermuda. Of course, I left the PLP when I found they were bound in this direction. In the past 2 years, I have also observed increasingly sincere efforts made in support of meaningful integration. These efforts have been made by a group of men led by Sir Henry Tucker, known as the United Bermuda Party, and the EBP is supported by a large group of liberal, white, and colored non-parliamentary members, some of whom are former members of the PLP. In the early days of the United Bermuda Party, I cannot fail to admit that I looked upon the party as a white party with token colored support, too weak to be effective in the area of race relations. Subsequent events indicate that the UBP was, indeed, sincerely responsive to the strong public opinion built up by the early PLP and by several other organizations before it. I'm going to pause there. This is 67. The Black Power Conference I spoke about in November was 69.
Yes.
This speech is being given 2 years prior to the Black Power Conference.
Yes.
However, prior to the Black Power Conference, also in 1969, the government brought the Race Relations Act.
Yes.
His party, his government.
Yes.
So here he is on a full-on nuclear war against the PLP over the issue of racial integration.
Yes.
And we know what happens just a year later of the Constitution.
Yes.
2 years later, the Race Relations Act. But let's jump 13 years to the 81 general strike.
Wow. Yes.
So I want you to see the impact of this. I mean, he goes in. Okay, I'm still, just so you know, if anybody listen, I've merely read about, I don't know, 2 paragraphs from the first page. So I've not even gone in. This is the 3rd paragraph.
Wow.
Okay? The PLP, a growing movement to abandon their early claim to foster race. That's the 3rd paragraph.
Wow.
So this is a full-on attack on, let's be clear, a difference of opinion among black people about what racial integration is. And look how, okay? He then goes on to about St. Paul's Church. They needed to disassociate from the PLP. The recent close PLP/BIU association as a betrayal of unsuspecting union members by the BIU leaders who openly flirt with irresponsible and undemocratic leaders of the PLP. The Labour Party and the Labour Union shouldn't have a relationship. You think he's talking about the Chamber of Commerce who created the inequality and the EBP, or the banks? And
I haven't heard that yet.
And so what happens here? Do you see what we're doing right now? And who wins?
Yeah.
Who wins? At this point, one might ask, can the EBP really represent the workers? My answer is yes, and we can represent all their genuine interests far better than any other party. How do we have a strike in 81 that shut down the country?
Yep.
How is it that we had riots in 77 about race relations, and every report said the condition of education, of how the police treat black people, of the prisons, of whatever, is causing and creating this. And his party did what? But again, who won? If this is who we are fighting. Look who his enemy is.
Yes.
Look who he's lashing. And so if you're, just imagine you're a racist who joined the EBP. You have your guy out front slashing. Who wins? I'm going to keep saying this.
Right.
Who wins?
But when you look at Dr. James, I'll just leave it at that one person. He comes from privilege. And I know of that personally. And he was able to go away to school. He became a doctor. And he had a successful practitioner. You understand? So it seems as if people take sides according to where they are financially.
Or what they think is wealth, or what they think is influence.
Yes.
I agree with you. I guess what happened to black Bermudians during this time. And this is what I'm getting at.
Yes.
Right? There was no need for black Bermudian men who wanted to serve their country, who had ability, strength, commitment, integrity, to separate over the issue of race.
Yes.
Like, that's insane. And the insanity is try to find this happening in a other community.
Right.
And I don't even mean, I could say white, so I don't mean that. Any.
Right.
Any. Oftentimes I said, regrettably, right, they had strong views of each other. But I want you to imagine the strength of the son of the soil, Harold Darrow, at the time the strength of Hewitt Brown. Imagine those two on the same team trying to bring equality.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay? I no doubt have some black people who don't like me, and I probably don't like, but what I'm getting at, what we get wrong is not understanding what the actual fight is. And so that Race Relations Act, imagine Clarence James now, or maybe that was racial integration that could succeed. Letting white people continue to say, no, we're not hiring them, no, we're not housing them, no, we're not giving them an apartment, and not have to worry about any criminality.
Right.
Whereas the black folks saying, that white man,
right.
That's a criminal offense.
Yes, I got you.
This is the damage. This, and so, why this, and this wasn't, like I said, you said McCoy's privilege. Yes, and I only read, trust me, this speech is long. I'm not going to read much, I'm not sure I'm going to read much more of it, if any. Right. But my point is, we know now that they stayed in power from 64 when they were formed to 98. And then what was the 98 campaign that caused the landslide? A new Bermuda. By the way, that wasn't me, so I'm trying to take credit. I'm just letting you know, right? That this speech, okay, and the thinking and the permission that a speech like this gives certain discriminatory policies. This speech allows the economy to go a certain way because black people are this, that, or the other. You can do immigration a certain way because that's the thing.
It also sets in stern. You know how they say that someone is, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, put it this way. You are targeted as a result of a speech like that.
Oh, absolutely.
And his so-called influence, and coming from a black man, that even makes it worse. So he's in agreement with how we're being treated, how we're looked at, and has endorsed it.
Who gets mortgages, who gets a mortgage pool because they're a member of the other party, who's the power of Front Street versus the power of Court Street, all of it.
So what that speech was meant to be for, I guess it succeeded in certain ways.
It perfectly succeeded. It gave a red carpet.
Exactly.
Here's the end of it. Well, maybe not the end. Third last paragraph. Colored Bermudians who support the EBP are often attacked as Uncle Toms. It is claimed by the drivers of the hate train that we are being used. This claim is ridiculous. The EBP urges and welcomes colored Bermudians to participate wholeheartedly as full and equal members of the party, not in any token manner, but in proportion to their numbers. Numbers which have already been recognized in the EBP-supported Constitution 26-14. Now I ask you, are we being used to maintain a racist government with a franchise so fairly weighted in favor of the colored community? I think not. Most Bermudians would agree that many of the improvements in, let me just say, this paragraph, this sentence, I have not quite been able to put in context. So, okay, I know you think I'm kind of bright. This one, I haven't been able to figure it out. Most Bermudians would agree that many of the improvements in race relations were the results of pressures of one sort or another. Then that means the government wouldn't have done it without pressure, right? Isn't that what it's saying?
That's what it's saying.
But to say that the improvements are just concessions is to suggest that one is thinking in retrogressive manner in two ways. But they were concessions. First, one wishes there were no concessions so that civil disorder and ultimate violence may be justified. Let me just tell you what he's saying there. He's saying in 3 sentences that most people know the improvements in race relations came from pressure. Not from leadership of his party, not from the thinking even prior to the EVP being formed, not from a sense of justice or God-given equality. No, pressure.
Yes.
But then he says, but those improvements that came from pressure were not mere concessions. Well, if they were not concessions, why was pressure needed?
Exactly.
Right? You conceded. It's the definition of a concession. But to then say the people who are complaining about even that progress want riots. I mean, you couldn't, this speech, if you were a genuine, sincere white member of the EBP, you would, and I could understand, thinking the PLP and its members want, if you will, racial superiority.
Right.
Now, let's just assume for one moment that that was what the thrust was, right?
Yes.
Then, thank goodness for these guys who keep getting enough black people to vote UBP so that superiority doesn't happen.
Yes.
That would be being used. But that's not what, there wasn't the superiority, that was the thing, right? The difference in the beginning, like you said, a racial integration was never defined.
Right.
So what did racial integration look like?
Yes.
And that's how we get to today. What does that Bermuda's delicate balance look like in 2026?
Yes.
200 years from emancipation, should you be able to look at Bermudians and identify who descended from slaves and who descended from slaveholders? Or should you be able to look at this stuff and go, wow, it's so equal here.
Yes.
This speech, like I said, this is 67.
Well, thank God it was a time when he could say that. Because he certainly couldn't have said that right now.
So the first one was the people who don't like the concessions want civil order to be disbanded.
Okay.
And ultimate violence justified. Secondly, one bemoans the fact that the improvements were not spontaneously initiated years ago. Both attitudes are quite non-productive. So you don't have to talk about the fact that they before did this, that, and the third.
Right.
Because now is now. Well, he probably didn't have to speak about 69, right?
Yes.
Both attitudes are quite non-productive. What is most effective is to apply pressure in such a way as to harness and fully utilize responsiveness under the terms of the new franchise towards development of a truly united and prosperous Bermuda. This is best done by vigorously supporting the United Bermuda Party. I, like many other Bermudians, am prepared to devote my life in serving the people of Bermuda because I love Bermuda. It is my home. I feel compelled to portray a frank, undistorted picture of race relations as I see them. By doing so, I sincerely hope that I can assist in saving Bermuda from self-destruction due to racial strife. I have no other motivation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
So, here's the deal. Here's my kind of question, I guess, or
Right.
thing, is if he was right, if they were the champion of Bermudians, regardless of race, if the country was about to prosper
Right.
in unity, because they are the United Bermuda Party, what happened?
Yeah.
Why did 98 require a new Bermuda? And that's unfair to him. We're talking, 30 years or so. But my point, though, is just try to imagine, and it's difficult because in a systemically racist history or culture, it's difficult to identify the dominant culture because it doesn't look like a culture. It's the way things are. You with me?
Yes.
I don't. Let me know if you know, because this is important stuff.
Yes.
So the obvious one is Christmas, and mainly Canadians, if not all Canadians, parking on the westbound lane down Elbow Hill because they go to Elbow Beach.
Yes.
That's not Bermudian culture, right? That's got, right? So why do you think the cars didn't get tickets? That's a cultural expression.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So there are people who will tell you their opinion of why those cars don't get tickets and why there are tickets outside the stadium when there are football games, but not for rugby games.
Exactly.
Okay? Well, I'm being facetious right now. I'm throwing out the stuff about being Bermudian in Bermuda that we identify as obviously for them and obviously against us and obviously for us and obviously against them. Okay. But what's being Bermudian?
Exactly. That's a big question.
This stuff on race relations, we know how it is played out. You don't have to be that right.
Yeah.
You're not that right. Neither party, because they bring politics into it. If there was no politics, I can't believe that the lifestyles of black leaders are such that they couldn't agree on what equality is or equity.
Right.
I have a real issue with that. However, having said that, Willie, I just wanted to, like I said, I probably should have done that later, but you told me to do it now.
Yes.
But that goes to Monday and Tuesday. The call I made, what people would have heard on Monday, and what I can tell you on Wednesday.
Yes.
It's just not it.
But you're not buying into it as another black man. You're not buying into what usually happens.
I refuse to.
Yeah.
I'm not. Who is going to determine my relationship with somebody else?
Yeah.
Because they're this, that, or the other, or I should be offended by what they said or did or what? No, that's not it. And so I'm going to go to the next little level here and deal with something that I learned from my conversation on Tuesday.
Okay.
That I hadn't been aware of, and the gentleman has asked me, and I think it's hilarious. Okay, for our listeners. And I'm explaining in a minute. Okay. But if there are two places to find this, okay. One, there's the work permit policy document that the government put out. I think it's 160. No, it's 10 pages, 11 pages.
Okay.
I think. And if you look at it, it's in there. But then there's somewhere else where I can't quite put my finger on it where it was. But the conversation led to other conversations. So I don't want you to put anything on this gentleman. Okay. Tell me something. I then made some calls, did some. I said, you gotta be joking. So I'm bringing this here. It wasn't something I knew about, but I think it's kind of funny. Well, maybe not funny. It's probably, in fact, that's definitely the wrong word. I messed up there, really.
Okay.
It is the things that make you go, and it is the English proficiency test. And I don't know if this is new or old, but what's interesting is the way it applies.
Okay.
So the two sort of criteria or exemptions that were shown to me was if you are from a non-English speaking country, but you've graduated from an English speaking university or degree or college, you don't have to take English as a proficiency test. With me?
Yes.
But if you don't, and there's a list of countries that you can hail from that are exempted from this, you can imagine what they are. The US, the UK, Canada, they've had an update, but now excluding Quebec, because French in Quebec.
Yes.
And Australia. And pretty much all of the CARICOM countries. Pretty much.
Right.
No? Do you see what? No?
Yes.
And this is the kind of policy that I don't like. I'm going to be real. It's not the English. I do like an English for whatever. But let me play this out for you the way it was explained to me by some entrepreneurs out there, some contractors. Okay? So let me play this out for you, really. You have to build, let's call it a blue house in Tucker's Town.
Yes.
A nice one.
Okay, real nice.
And the person who's going to be living in it might not be the owner. Trust might own it, right? But there's and they want this nice blue house in Tucker's Town. And you go down to your Bermudian construction company with your fellas and you start the job.
Yes.
Now, because the person who's going to live there is so particular, right? They want heated tile floors, and where you buy the tile they have someone who will do the installation. In fact, the only way you get the guarantee and warranty is if this person does the installation.
Okay.
So you write in for a work permit. If that person doesn't speak English, then how do you get the work permit?
Exactly.
They have not graduated from a university. If they're from Spain, not from an English-speaking country.
Right.
But they are unique and required for this particular job. Okay. So you tell them come down for vacation, right?
Yes.
Well, you got no choice, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you fly in, don't tell them you're working. Whatever you do, don't tell them you're working. You're staying at this hotel, and they say you've never been to Bermuda before, and so you give them everything. And trust me, this happens, right? So you tell them everything to say at the airport, and they go, "Ka-junk, welcome to Bermuda."
Yeah.
And then he comes and said, "Whatever, don't even bring the tools. FedEx the tools. Okay? Carry nothing." And so the two, am I giving away too many commercials? Sorry, y'all who break the law, but really didn't say shh. So anyway, so the tools come down later, and the guy comes in and knocks out the job for you, right?
Right.
Cool. But let's do a different way.
Yes.
You're a big construction company, and you have to build this blue house in Tuckerstown for this very finicky person, and you need specialist carpenters because of this installation of this dooflicky whatchamacallit that does the dingy-majiggy. Okay? Well, as it turns out, you bring in this carpenter, you go through the fact that they can speak English because you realize you got a lot of other jobs coming up over the next 18 months.
Yes.
And you should probably have this guy here. So your big guy comes in, you bring him in, does the proficiency test, and you bring him in, and you're paying him, I don't know, what's a good number? 42 an hour? 50 an hour? I don't know. 40? Okay, so you're paying 42 an hour, right? Now, I come along, and I'm also building a house in Tuckerstown for, say, a bank owner or hotel spokesman. And this house is going to be a little bigger than your house. You're brand new to Tuckerstown. You're new. In fact, not even many of you are down here. So my house definitely let you know that your house is,
Yeah.
But I need that specialist carpenter.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to pay 48 an hour and take your carpenter who you've gotten and spent the money for, right?
Yes.
And ordered it. Hey, more money? I'm out. And I hire him. You got to start from scratch now.
Yes.
And what about the deadline? You know how finicky that homeowner is going to be. Okay? So in other words, the proficiency test does not impact the wealthier businesses in Bermuda because the people who work there have careers, and careers generally mean degrees. And so they will have gotten a degree from an English-speaking university. So none of this English proficiency test stuff will necessarily impact international business.
Yes.
But it can quite seriously impact construction entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So I found that interesting. Then it was one person who was telling me was saying, if your passport is such, he goes, look, no disrespect, this is my mom, and I love my mom, but my mom was a master of Jamaican patois.
Okay.
I'm not sure about it, but she won't have to take the test because her passport is Jamaican.
Yes.
Right? And prior to this update, Canada, you could have been from Quebec and only spoke French, but you wouldn't have to take the test. Okay? And then this other fella gave me an interesting way to look at it as well. If you open a Chinese restaurant, should your chef be able to speak English? He's not front-facing. She doesn't deal with the customers. The talent is you want authentic Chinese cuisine or whatever. They have to take the test too.
Yes.
So is this an interesting thing that's come out that I had a chat about, and I told the fella I would raise it. And what somebody asked was for me to get the listeners to take the test. This fella who he reads, he writes, business owner, father, parent, going 40, right? Got an 85.
Yes.
He was like, 85. He thought he would get 100. And so if he got an 85, he was wondering, boy, oh boy, what's happening to other people?
I'm going to tell you something. You just opened up.
Huh?
You just tore a scab.
What you mean? No, hold on, babe. I was just...
No, I'm just saying, on another level, just look at just normal employment.
Yes.
And how different people from different races actually end up working in Bermuda with that same problem. I'm going to tell you, I was a boss. I was a department head. I had hired people, and that was my remit. I had to hire people. That's one of them.
Okay.
And we had some individuals who came in while I was on vacation. My assistant,
right?
I'm not going to say where he came from.
Okay.
Called back home for people to come after he spoke to my director.
Hold on 1 minute. You lost me. So your assistant was non-Bermudian.
Non-Bermudian.
So when you said they called back home, they called to the country they hailed from.
Yes.
Okay, so continue now. I did because you lost me there.
Okay. And what had happened is I was on vacation, went to the Caribbean, had a good time, came back after 8 weeks. I got an email saying that these individuals, their work permits have been accepted.
Approved.
Okay. Here we go. I got that email. I flied on to our human resources department and I say, what is this? I had already earmarked people for a secondary interview.
No, you had earmarked. You had earmarked. Sorry?
Individuals.
No, you had earmarked.
Bermudians.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's say that one again.
Yes, I take that for granted that I am a Bermudian.
No, it's just that this story is about a non-Bermudian assistant of yours.
Yes.
Calling back to the country they hail from.
Yes.
And you say you already had people or individuals. No, you had
Bermudians.
Thank you.
Okay. And the Bermudians now.
I'm going to get in trouble for beating you up on that, aren't I?
you probably
Your
are.
female
it has nothing
fandom.
to do with me.
Your female fandom.
Oh, yeah, they'll be out there.
I know. It's all right. So, I need a harem to fight your fandom. Sorry, go on, man. You were saying.
So at the end of the day, what had happened was I was disgusted, and I said, I had Bermudians who were earmarked for these positions. I just had to do a secondary interview. That never happened. I had to explain to them that when I go home through a village. And I pass some of these individuals. What am I now to say to them that they've just been discarded, the work they went through just to even get up and come to do an interview? And, it was glum faces and whatever. But you know what? To your point, what you were telling me. These individuals came in, and one person in particular could not speak English, couldn't understand English.
What section were they going to be working in?
They were going to be working in the kitchens.
Okay.
And, it's equipment and what have you.
No, I get it.
The communication has to be exactly, because some people could really end up being hurt.
So let me tell you, man. The reason why I don't like this policy wasn't about the English proficiency part. I definitely think everybody who here should speak English at a proficient level, because we're either business or tourism. So, right? But equally, I don't understand why you can go to an Italian restaurant and get served by a Polish waitress, or go to a Jamaican takeout restaurant and have a Filipino behind the thing. I understand the cultural things. If I go to a Jamaican place, I would imagine I get served by someone Jamaican. Right. If I go to an Italian place, I get served by someone Italian. I understand that. But the thing that I'm finding odd about this is I think the government, rather than being bold about this policy, and that's what we'll take a break and we'll come back and deal with the actual content of today's show. Okay. But I do think that that's the inferiority complex that some Bermudians have around certain business leaders or certain business people or certain wealthy people or certain white people. Yes. I don't know, but it's an inferiority complex that comes up. The reason is, if you look at the work permits in this country and the people who are unlikely to be able to speak English, it's three. Yeah. The Philippines, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and potentially Azores, Portugal.
And India.
Sure. What I'm getting at, why not merely say, if you come from these countries, unless you have a university degree from an English-speaking university, you have to pass the test.
Yes.
Why not say, if you come from all of these countries, you don't have to? Right? That's the weakness of the people who we hire, pay, and vote for to be Bermudian.
Yes. Another ploy that happens, what our HR departments do, they do overseas interviews.
Yep.
So what I have discovered, what I did discover with these individuals coming in, that number one, they all had the same qualifications. It came from Dubai.
There you go.
Same hotel, same everything, came from Dubai. The certificates came from the same universities, right? Not only that, but at the end of the day, I found out after an investigation that because they had their interview done over the phone, that they all were in tandem with this little, I'll call it a scam. And they were hired because one person there knew English real good and was able to motivate them or move them through the interview process. They scored very high. So this individual who I was very suspicious of, I was convinced. I had him in the office and I said, I had called HR and I said, listen, this is what I want you to do. Ask them the same questions that you asked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right.
And let me tell you something. It wasn't to show off or to do anything. It was the right thing to do.
You're matching the energy of somebody who went out of their way to bring in non-Bermudians over the recommendation of Bermudians. And so I wouldn't even say you match the energy. You just simply bat and pad on that ball, right? And said, okay, prove it.
You know what happened?
I'm pretty sure, but tell me.
He couldn't answer one single question.
Not
one. And I looked at the HR director and I blinked my eyes. And she said, could you excuse yourself talking to the guy? I had to physically get up and take him by his arm and take him outside because he didn't understand that either. Right? And I said, you see what's happening here? It's all a scam. You have to change your process of getting employees if you're going to have them from overseas. Because we're going to be stuck with people who are going to be here and they will challenge their employment in this country. Okay? Because once they're given a job and they say, well, I was given a job. But anyway, I just wanted to share that. And there are a lot of other examples.
Oh, yeah. So, this policy about the English proficiency seems a little new or a little updated anyway, or modern. But we'll see. Like I said, somebody said, ask your listeners to go on and take the test, right? I actually couldn't find the test. I was looking. I did find a requirement, but a test, and it's quite expensive as well, apparently. So really, I'm going to hopefully hit the right button here. We'll take a quick break about, let's see. In fact, I can tell you how long. Let's take a break for about 3 minutes and 39 seconds.
That's lunchtime.
We'll be right back with more of the Corey Butterfield Show here on Magic 102.7 FM.
You know something? I keep getting that wrong, Willie.
What was
You're
that?
supposed to be hearing, you've been listening to the Corey Band. We're back.
Yes.
But I keep getting it wrong. I just get it wrong. I want to learn this system one day. Hopefully before Glenn or the powers that be get rid of us, you know, but I'm going to get it right. And then one day I'll be able to tell people, no, actually I am a radio host. I even know how to act. I even know how to work the equipment. So, look, Billy, something happened on Monday else that wasn't intentional on my part, but okay. I don't think it was wrong or anything else. I'm glad it happened.
Right.
And it's kind of giving me the opportunity to go down another path, because when I say I got it wrong, May, I got it wrong.
Oh, man.
Okay? Yeah. So here's the deal. On Monday, I thought I was going to explain a little bit, in as much as a layman like me can,
right,
the Bermudan economy, right, and how we kind of make money.
Okay.
What the whole international business sector is about.
Yes.
And I thought I would do that in just enough like cocktail party level, you know, I don't even work in it. And there are people whose job it is to advise and make us aware of IB, right? So it wasn't, you know, a commercial,
okay.
But in as much as these things are done in our name as Bermudians, in that some people think of us as a tax haven or not,
right. Yes.
Or because you may travel and so, Bermuda, other than Triangle, what else can you tell me, right? So I just thought I would do that, regrettably.
Well, what I was thinking is that it was very informative, number one.
Oh.
And that it took us in areas that we usually don't go in, especially the regular person, the grassroots person, the people that I represent. Let me tell you, I had a few of them call me up and tell me, hey, that was some steep stuff. So that was the call last night when I said to you, listen, we have to go really deep into this and explain it to its fullness. Because people need to understand the economy of Bermuda and what makes us tick. Okay.
And so I thought that by going into IB, I might have after we spoke, and when I thought about it a bit more, I thought that there are some ways to go about this that I think work.
Okay.
So the Bermudan economy, right? We talk about the fact that back in the 80s, right, there were two pillars: tourism, international business. That's just, for the most part, we know tourism.
Yes.
In the international business side, on Monday, I also read out examples, and I can read them again, of some of the more tricky ways to use low tax jurisdictions around the world to ensure you retain as much of your money as possible.
Yes.
And I think perhaps that was a bit ahead of the game. So let me just take it back, okay? And you and I get into business.
Okay.
What's our business going to be?
I like fruits.
Okay, great. We're importing?
Yeah, we're importing.
Oh, boy. Okay. So you and I have a link where? Where are we bringing fruit from?
South America.
A country, please?
Suriname.
That's not... Okay. So, Suriname. And you and I are going to bring in fruit from Suriname. Now, we do this, you and I, right? We got money. We don't incorporate a company or anything, and we do this.
Yes.
Okay. And then we want to sort of get some credit in Suriname.
Yes.
So we're not always sending money down. We want a bank account, say, in Suriname, or we want something in Suriname.
Yes.
And the only way this works is if you're a company. So you and I incorporate a company in Bermuda.
Yes.
Yeah? Or we incorporate a company in Suriname.
Yes.
But we're going to stick with Bermuda.
Now, let's take it down low. What is incorporation?
I was just getting to that.
Okay. All right.
So incorporation in Bermuda, and we're going to just say this the old days for a moment.
Yes.
When you see LTD, so Masters Limited, Gorham's Limited, Baptist Builders Limited, LTD means the limited liability on the company owners.
Okay.
And in Bermuda, when you say, I want to call a company Corey and Willie Fruits That's probably not. We need a better name than that. That's a terrible name. All right. So the name we're going to come up with, we then submit that to the Register of Companies. They check. Yep. Nobody else has a name close to this. Your name works.
Yes.
They rest up the application. How many shares each of us going to have? You'll have 50. I'll have 50.
Yes.
Our directors is me, you, and we'll pick Glenn.
Yes.
Because we put him through a lot of hell on the show, so we figure this one, baby. We'll put him on the boot. We'll break off Glenn. So,
we got to take care of Glenn.
Yeah, we'll take care of the boss, right?
Him, yeah.
So we three are directors, okay?
Right.
And somebody goes to sue that company.
Mm-hmm.
Our liability, should we lose the lawsuit, is limited to the value of the shares. And so in Bermuda, when you incorporate a company,
right,
you come with 1,200 shares, and each share worth $1.
Okay, repeat that again.
So when you incorporate a company in Bermuda, once it's incorporated, so Corey Willie Limited, we need a better, will you give me a name, please? Well, Willie Corey Limited, because even that sounds, Suriname Fruits.
Yes, okay.
Okay, so Suriname Fruits Limited, once it's now a Bermuda company,
Yes.
the value of that company is $1,200.
Yes.
Because when you start a company in Bermuda, you get 1,200 shares, and each share is worth $1.
Yes.
Now, as you do more, the company say we get an exclusivity that all the produce in the country that's imported comes through our company.
Yes.
You know how much money we be making?
Yeah, a lot of money.
So we're going to make buku bucks,
Yes.
right? That all goes in. So that's a local company, maybe operating here, but it's just us,
Yes.
right? It's incorporated. The shares that if somebody sues, the most they can get is $1,200. Once we get that exclusive, and somebody wants to buy our company, say Chiquita says, "Hey, we want to buy you out. We're not going to sell it to you for $1,200.
No, of course not.
Maybe $12 million. Okay, so the company's now incorporated under Bermuda law. Every local company, so if you want to be deemed a Bermudian company,
Yes.
at least 60% of the shares must be held by a Bermudian. In our case, we're both Bermudian.
Yes.
We 50%, but
100%,
we're
yeah.
straight. Okay, 100% owned by a Bermudian.
Yes.
Now, you may, so this is now the 60-40 rule.
Okay.
Okay, so 60% must be held by Bermudians,
Yes.
40 by non-Bermudians.
Okay.
Do you want to know one of the most embarrassing moments for me as a Bermudian in the last 8 years?
I want to hear this.
You may recall a certain government leader saying Bermudians who have roommates in college can't get money from their roommates' parents to invest in Bermuda because of the 60-40 rule. You may recall that. That was deeply embarrassing
My God.
on my end. And the calls and the messages I had to deal with for that kind of incompetence, it was bad.
Yeah.
So let me advise. 60-40,
Yes.
straightforward, right? 60% Bermuda, 40.
Yes.
Now, how this played out in a way that some of our audience may recall was when Bermuda got cable TV. It was a company, Bermuda Cablevision Limited. And there was a massive lawsuit because it was felt that the American shareholders, the 40,
Yes.
were actually controlling the company, and the Bermudian 60 were fronting for the non-Bermudian 40.
Oh, wow.
This was a massive lawsuit
Yes.
that went to the heart of Bermuda's 60-40 rule. What does this mean?
Yes.
So that happened. And then if you recall, I think I spoke about this on Monday, or maybe not, Walkers. Did I tell you about Walkers?
No.
No. Okay. So this is Cablevision, and the rule was 60-40, men 60-40.
Yes.
Okay, Bermudians must control
Yes.
60, even there's 60 of the shareholders. Now, what you could imagine, there aren't many people, to the former political leader's statement back in 2017, why would somebody invest in Bermuda if the Bermudian has 60% control of the company?
Yes.
Right? Which was the issue that they thought still existed. But of course, Bermudian lawyers, accountants, we're innovative. We are
Yes.
Like the best in the world. And it was our rule.
Yes.
You think we can't get over our own rule? Like, you heard of the OECD, you heard of the EU,
Yes.
like, come on.
Yes.
Sorry, slipped up. Let me get back to my best behavior.
Okay.
Professor. So, what happens is a company law firm
Right.
comes to Bermuda, and this is the next sort of major deal with 6040. And Walker's comes here, and they hire people, set up shop, but the Bar Association won't license them to practice in Bermuda.
Okay.
And they claimed that the local, we call it Walker's Bermuda, and the people who were had incorporated that, the owners of Walker's Bermuda, were just fronting for Walker's Global,
Okay.
which was based in England. And so as a result, they said, no, you're not a true Bermuda company. You're fronting
Yeah.
for those overseas.
Yes.
And wouldn't give them a practicing certificate. Walker's sued. And in that Supreme Court case, what came out was Walker's overseas had so much influence or control or management of Walker's Bermuda
Wow.
that you could say Walker's Global was controlling Walker's Bermuda.
Yes.
Okay? And that was the Bar's argument. Walker's argument was the law is 6040. This is 6040.
Yeah.
Okay? Walker's wins. The Bar then appeals. Court of Appeal. And Court of Appeal, I believe, got this right, well, they ruled. I'm not going to say who won, but it ended up at the Privy Council.
Yes.
So Bermuda's 6040 legislation, this thing that's been here, is now being tested by the House of Lords.
Let's go on to court.
And the House of Lords, the Privy Council of the House of Lords,
Yes.
ruled that 6040 meant 6040 in shares.
Yes.
And so now, any agreement, right?
Yes.
I'm non-Bermuda, I'll be paid first. I put in the money, I'm the first one gets money out. Nobody be hired unless I agree. Oh, what was fronting in the early 90s, late 80s,
Yes.
is now okay.
Oh, wow.
So 6040 still means shares, but shares don't necessarily mean control of the company. So these are your local companies. Okay, where you buy your groceries, where you get gas from. Okay,
Yes.
gas maybe not, but we're gonna go local. Okay, and so 6040 applies to Bermudian companies.
Yes.
And due to recent legal developments, 6040 is 6040. But what happens in the running, the operation, the money, all of that, that's open to other agreements between the owners or shareholders.
Oh, wow.
Indeed. Okay. Now, around the late 80s, we then got what we called exempt companies. The word exempt meant they were exempt from the 6040 rule.
Okay.
So none of the shareholders had to be Bermudian. They were all foreign. And in exchange for that, they could not operate in Bermuda.
Okay.
Okay? So exempt of 6040.
Yes.
Well, now we've gone from exempt, right, to international business.
Oh, wow.
Okay? Or an international company.
Yes.
Okay? So it's the same thing, but they were exempt from 6040.
Okay.
Okay? Now, let me just poke a pin here and just say, this came about, and I'm going to do this because, quite frankly, it's factual, it's accurate, and what I'm about to say won't right or wrong. But at least I know I've done my part.
Yes.
I know firsthand. I know, in fact, you were there.
Yeah.
It was you, me, and Sir Jones won.
Yes. Okay.
And I asked him, given what you did to create the exempt company, international business industry, why don't people know it was you? And he wanted to know how I knew.
Yes.
And then I told him,
Yes.
I'm a history of my country and people talk to me. Okay? I even told him who called him to tell him the deal was done. What American called him, right? Remember? He was looking at what? How could you
know this? Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So he was traveling. Remember I told him, I said, you will leave Bermuda after the cabinet and get back for the house.
Yes.
And then leave it. He's looking at me, how in the world did you know
surprised.
this? So this is the issue for me, right? We are the reinsurance capital of the world, right?
Yes.
Picture a country that has major oil or manufactures T-shirts.
Okay.
Do you think the people in those countries suffer from not having enough T-shirts?
I think some of them do.
Not many, right?
Right.
Because how cheap are the T-shirts in that country?
Yes.
What about oil?
That's true too.
So how come we have people who can't afford insurance and we're the reinsurance capital of the world? I'll go on. I know you don't want to. So I'm just going to roll on. But that's my issue. Part of the fact that we have massive reinsurers in Bermuda, headquarters. But none of our local insurance companies can get insurance from them because of the treaty that allows what it allows. Does Bermuda's new 2034 delicate balance have us look at that treaty? Because insurance is so high in the country. Because people don't have insurance. By the way, I just messed up a whole lot of executives by saying that out loud. Trust me. Okay? But what's in our interest? What's in the Bermudian interest and what's needed? Okay? And what has unfettered capitalism done for our local, I don't mean exempt companies, local. Okay? So the Bermudians develop insurance, but the international business can't get involved so that we can lower the rates to such a level, right? Imagine what the trade-off would be. But no, we can't.
But the thing about it is, it can be done.
Shh.
No,
you need a vision. Man, of course, listen.
It can be done.
We're doing tax rebates on tax revenue collected yet.
Yeah.
I said, I don't know how many times, if you have no vision, you're merely maintaining.
Exactly.
You have to have a vision for everybody either doesn't need insurance or can afford insurance in the reinsurance capital of the so-and-so world.
Yes.
Like it just... So, back down. Okay? Exempt companies, right?
Yeah.
And so at this point, there have been some changes as well. LTD, LLC, incorporated. That's a little bit deeper than I wanted to go, but I can if you think it makes sense.
Well, let's continue on this path, and we could.
Which one?
Roll back, because I see this being continued tomorrow.
It definitely will.
Okay.
Okay. So let's stick with the local company, the ones that we deal with all the time.
Yes.
Okay. Back then, you had an LTD. So you and I, Suriname Fruits, is an LTD.
Yes.
We realize we're making big money now, and we don't want to be on the hook because somebody got food or a whole wedding went down because, right? So we incorporated the company. We now got directors and officers of insurance. So we are completely isolated from the operations affecting our liability.
There you go.
Now, that's different. Let's go back. You and I are lawyers. We started a law firm.
Okay.
In law firms, and I know law firms, so I'll stick with that one. When you come and you start working, you've been out of school for 3 years and you come work in a law firm, you would be an associate.
Okay.
Okay? You're a lawyer, an associate. After, and when the other founders or think you've made enough money for the company or you got seniority, they may make you a partner.
Yes.
Okay? So in this country, doctors and lawyers were partners. That meant the partner A was on the hook for all of the liability of the company and the behaviors of other partners.
Wow.
So, but I think that was right. If you're a law firm, like you're supposed to know law and people need law, right? In 2016, the government created something called the LLC. So instead of LTD, you now got an LLC.
Yes.
And the LLC gave the structure and formality of the LTD, the limited liability, with the profit sharing ability of a partnership.
Yes.
And so those combined now create the LLC. I will just say the LLC, by certain unscrupulous people, has been the biggest benefit and bonus to unethical individuals that you could imagine.
My God. Yeah?
I had a call about this yesterday, believe it or not. And somebody was telling me how all these LLCs are being used. I actually told him. He said, you're not going to believe this. I said, no, I believe. Let me run one by you. And when I told him, he said, well, he said, you know. I said, mate, I know, you know. Lawyers know, accountants know. I guess politicians don't. Or maybe they do and are encouraging it. I have no clue. You look like you want to say something.
Here we go again. Anyway, you have to have the will to change.
No, of course. So the latest company that I've seen the government create is something called, which I think is also really, really clever, and I don't quite know where this one has come from.
Right.
The public benefit company. So at the moment, if you are really and you want to donate to grassroots causes, you can donate to your heart's desire.
Yes.
Right? You give to whoever you want to give to.
Yes.
The public benefit company is a company that does still sort of work for profit, but profit is like its secondary idea.
Okay.
Giving, public benefit, environmental or social, or those are DEI. The thrust is mainly there for those companies. So let's say that and I have had some conversations with some people about this, so I'm putting it out there now. So if you're listening, you can be vexed because I'm putting it out there. But you could be, call it Corey DB Public Benefit Company.
Okay.
And so what I do, I write strategic plans, I help you some policy, I can do that stuff for a fee,
Yes.
right? But that's my secondary role. My primary role is to donate funds on behalf of the owners of the company.
Yes.
Imagine those owners were 5, 6 international companies. And so their tax that or their donations are sent to that public benefit company whose job is to do some services stuff, but also distribute that money.
Yes.
And so that public benefit company, I haven't quite seen it work before, and I'm still working out the difference between a public benefit company and a charity, because the charity can be a part owner or owner of a business anyway. So I haven't quite worked out in Bermuda's terms. I've seen the difference in other jurisdictions, but in Bermuda, I'm not quite sure of what you'd get from being a public benefit company versus a registered charity.
Okay.
Because I know what I'm about to say. Because you could be a company that is a charity, or a charity that is a company.
Yes.
Okay, and it's limited by guarantee. And I'm just kidding.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. As it relates to money laundering.
That's where I was coming to next.
Okay, I'm listening. My eyes are wide open.
No, I want to hear your rest of your question to make sure I'm going to answer.
I wanted to know, when it comes to money laundering, how would these, do we check with the 40? There's investors who are going to...
Oh, yeah. The application in this country is quite robust.
Okay.
At the Registrar of Companies, if you're an exempt company and you're going to be a key person in the company, the BMA
Yes.
will check you out even deeper than the registrar.
Okay.
The companies, my daughter's big in compliance.
Yes.
I wish she wasn't so confidential, because I wish I could tell you some stuff, but she won't tell me anything. But I'll just tell you that there's something like a thing called World Check. Okay. And I think it's World Check and Globe Check. Yes. I think they've probably moved on since then. I'm going back maybe 10 years. And what came out was this World Check that you put in Willie Ferguson, right? Everything about you, passport number, investments, bank accounts. And it's global. Global.
Right.
Okay? So one, I think, was Europe was World Check, and the American one was Global Check or something. Okay. But it did that. Okay? It checked you. I mean, right out.
Yes. Okay.
And so the person and the company and all that is largely checked out. But it comes back to what we were talking about: conflict of interest, unethical, corrupt, illegal, malicious, right?
Yes.
So unless you're breaking the law,
Yeah.
people might not like that you've taken 150 million out of this company for rent, but there's nothing that can be said. Okay,
Got you.
so
Got you.
all right, local company, ones we deal with.
Yes.
Local company, but it's exempt. We don't deal with.
Okay.
They deal with overseas.
Okay.
Those are the international companies.
Okay.
And then we have the reinsurers. Okay, so these are, and I read this out, what reinsurers, but anyway, I'm going to come back to that. This is my issue, really. I think that separation, like I just said, international companies and
Right.
Bermuda companies, and maybe it's just me, because,
Right.
I get slow common senses and all that come with me sometimes. But I can't remember us being spoken to as a people about immigration or work permits in a specific arena.
Right.
So if you go on Google and just pick any random Bermuda company,
Yes.
I don't mean the big reinsurers. You'd be stunned, right, at the amount of companies that were here. And when you look at those companies and what they do and who does it, it's very easy to see no Bermudians and or very, very few black Bermudians, not even in the leadership, just, in these smaller companies. And so the issue of work permits and we're going to get into this, the issue of a work permit is down to, I think, for the average Bermudian, is there a non-Bermudian doing a job that a Bermudian could do?
Got you.
That's number one. Number two, does every Bermudian know the path to get into IB? And three, what is the process when work permits are renewed?
Yes.
Answer those questions. I think Bermudians let that industry do what it's got to do. I really do.
Yes.
Right? But when I go to Gorham's, true story, and ask the salesperson, I'm walking up and I want a squeegee, right? And I say, hi, like know what the squeegees are? She said, sorry, squeegee? Squeegee? I said, oh, squeegee, for window. She didn't have a clue what I was talking about. Couldn't speak English, or at least couldn't repeat squeegee, right?
Yes.
And that's a salesperson on the floor.
Yes.
I understand that, like I said, if I go to an Italian restaurant, I understand I'm going to be served by an Italian in Bermuda. I get it. I think I should be served by an Italian,
Right.
even though we're in Bermuda. I don't understand being served by someone from the Philippines in a Jamaican takeout place.
Right.
I don't get. Or a Polish person in an Italian restaurant.
Yes.
Or a Sri Lankan in a Bermudian dessert place,
Yes.
coffee place. I don't get it. And so it may be that the work permit and immigration issue that Bermudians are most exercised about are if Bermudians don't have a path to wherever they want to go, and or if somebody is breaking the law.
Got you.
I think, but the law has to look out for us. So I think that breakdown, if I was an authority,
Yes.
the immigration ministry, that's how I think I would show Bermudians. Right? Because there's I could list off about 80 companies that have websites that you click on that are in Bermuda
Yes.
that you wouldn't even know what building they're in. It's 6 of them, right? Or it's 3 of them, 4 of them, or it's 24 of them.
Yes.
And they do whatever they do in finance.
Yes.
Okay? I think that if a Bermudian starts the education system, and I'm not sure that this particular go-around would make international business industry think we're about to generate a whole heap of people to come into your industry. I don't think they have that fear, given the collapse of confidence in public education in Bermuda. But that's what I think we're about. I think we're fair. I think we know, okay, someone once told me there are more actuaries in Hamilton than Ontario.
What?
Ontario.
Wow.
Okay? well, do you know what it takes to be an actuary?
Yes,
Like I talked to, I didn't, because I talked to someone a couple of years ago, and they said, Corey, if somebody is 16 and thinks they like math, they're too late to be an actuary. I said, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Oh no, these are the people eat numbers at 8, at 10.
That's true.
Okay.
My godchild's actuary.
Well, I need a couple of dollars. Can help me out?
We could talk after the show.
Yeah, but tell them don't apply the formula about how I'm going to pay them back, because that formula is going to be. So tell them don't worry about that part.
I can hear it now.
Oh, and it's a her.
Yes.
Let's hold back. You're right. Let's have a meeting. Let's have a meeting on that one, because that's tough, right? Fellas, a little different. So what I think also bothered us was I read out something from ABIC.
Right.
And ABIC was boasty. Okay? And that's what derailed everything for what I thought we were going to be talking about.
Yes.
I was afraid to read it again. But it was about go on.
I need to hear it again.
No, you don't.
Yes,
you almost fought me on Monday.
No, let's go. Let's hear it.
So the reason why I went through Limited, LLC, and those sorts of things, and the companies like Mr. Chicken,
yes,
Buzz, what limited liability companies that operate in Bermuda, and as far as I'm aware, don't operate overseas. Okay. So they're not CG Insurance popping up on your YouTube thing.
Yes.
Okay, and that's them. And then there are local, international companies that do operate in Bermuda in terms of moving money around, compliance, and all that sort of thing.
Okay, I have a question. Another question for you. Franchises. How would they deal with that? Like, for instance, we have Kentucky Fried Chicken, and we nearly have, did we have McDonald's?
No.
Okay.
So, I actually read this when it came out. There was a real anti-American
yes,
vibe at the time about Bermuda becoming filled with these fast food chains.
Right.
And Kentucky got in. And I could tell you on the McDonald's one, that was at the time MP. Were they MPs or retired MPs? Sworn and Burgess. No, I know. I'm just trying to think, were they still MPs?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
In fact, their tenure depended on that outcome.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So the idea of franchise, particularly in food,
yes,
was shut down.
Yes.
And even they tell me 4-star pizza. In the U.S. at the time, I think there was something called 5-star pizza.
Okay.
And the boxes were just
similar.
Right? So there wasn't a franchise. Okay. If you see Gorham's or Masters, but remember you see True Value or Ace, okay, that's because we didn't like the franchise, but those people were being supplied by a franchise.
Yes.
Hey, the one that sickens me today, and I mean sickens me to no end.
What's that?
The bowl and basket one.
Oh, yes.
Okay. If Bermudians were, and this is about monopoly, this is about all that. If Bermudians were in the U.S., I'm not sure many of us would pick bowl and basket product. I think we'd probably pick the market leader, or we'd pick the one we like. In a pinch, we might do that. But what I'm getting at is that you ask about franchise, you'd be surprised how you see it, and don't.
Yes.
But then local companies have several branches, 4-star, Mr. Chicken, Gorham's, SAL, aren't or are being franchised. So the idea of a franchise isn't a problem. It's a foreign franchise.
Right.
That I think is the problem.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Oh boy. I think I'm going to let you submit questions first. You're making me nervous.
You know who I'm representing.
Yes, I do. And I want you to keep doing it. Honestly. Keep asking me whatever, honestly.
Yes.
So what happens, we have this setup now. Right. So we probably don't want work permits to the level we've seen them in the local company.
Yes.
Right? That exercises us. It incenses me.
Yes.
Right? And like I said, I understand the cultural work permit of an Italian in an Italian restaurant, the Jamaican in a Jamaican restaurant. I don't understand a Philippine person in a Bermudian restaurant.
Got you.
I don't understand why an Irish pub has Philippine staff.
Okay. I have one more question. This is an easy one.
Corey.
Well, I wanted to ask, not franchises, brands.
Okay.
Like if your company represents a brand, like for instance, we had Fairmont.
Oh, yes.
For example. I don't know, we had...
Marriott. We had all, yeah.
Yeah, we had all of that.
Yep.
How does that work out?
Well, I must say, other than Cambridge, Grotto Bay, and the Reefs, and Cocoa Reef or Stonington, I'm not sure who would have complained.
Okay.
And I mean it that simply, right?
Yeah.
Because they do go looking for chains or brands.
Yes.
Right? I thought you were going somewhere else. Thank goodness you didn't go there. What I thought you were going to say was sometimes in the classified section, and I'm a nerd, so I look at it, you will see Pepsi, FedEx, all those logos. Well, remember I was talking on Monday. So to use the Pepsi logo, let's say, in that factory in India, you have to pay the Bermuda logo licensing company.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what you pay us comes off every bottle.
Yes. That's how it works.
That's how it works. So the government, when it says, if you will, an incentive for job makers, then that ought to be, or that is for people come down and create jobs for Bermudians. That's, I think without that, we get the job numbers we have now.
Yes.
Right? And I've been holding back saying that we've seen how capitalism works. It's on about Bermuda, right? I could give a whole paper on Bermuda being a paradise for racists and capitalists. It is ideal. You can't go wrong.
Right.
But I think that, no, I know that all of this wealth that passes through the country, if the only thing the government gets from it is payroll tax, and perhaps some land tax, but payroll tax, and if it exempts, right, the employer section, then all of the other things, to Cyril Ritter's point that I read, right, they buy cars, they put their children in school, they get groceries, they right, all these other things, maybe, because what I could also show is the grocery delivery companies now that come out, Marketplace and Drop It and 5 Star, right? They boom during the summer. So then, if all of these foreign workers here aren't getting groceries delivered, let's say, then you kind of look to see, and if they go home so easy to buy the stuff they want in America and just bring it in, right? We have to look at what the actual benefit is to the public purse. And how does having the richest companies in the world affect your grassroots people?
Yes. But I'm looking at the structure, right? And I'm saying to myself, there is opportunity to do more for Bermudians.
No, of course. That's the point.
Yes.
That's the whole point.
Yes.
Without an intervention, capitalism is going to do what capitalism wants to do. Make the most money with the least expense.
Yes.
And that's just the system.
It's business.
Right? And so a country isn't run by capitalism. If it was, we'd just put a machine down cabinet.
Yes.
Take this in, take this out, do this, do that. Done. You eat AI.
Yes.
Right? You wouldn't need this other stuff. And so that's the problem we have. And we're going to definitely deal with this tomorrow. I won't take any calls today because we're about 10 minutes to go. And I have some stuff that I really want to clear up so that Thursday when I come back, tomorrow when we come back, we can build on this stuff. So who then is it really? No, you said a perfect statement.
Right.
There is more that can be done for Bermudians.
Yes.
Who is the one, what organization, what institution, what body is set up to make that happen, really?
Well, we're looking, it's a few of them.
Really?
Well, that can influence it anyway. Now, the government is our legislators. They can do a lot as far as making a better deal for us. There's pressure groups. One is the union.
But I read out the union. So, sorry, are we being hypothetical here or are we being actual?
Yes.
Oh, hypothetical, sure. Mate, I could give you that if you want. I thought I was being actual, but yep, you keep going.
Yes.
So I'll read you my list
Sure.
of actual or hypothetical, Bermuda First, the think tank,
Yes.
is now called Bermuda Forward.
Yes.
The unions, the parties, charities, and other NGOs.
Yes.
Let me tell you who they're up against. That, what did this go? That ramshackle bunch of rebels, right? That's what they call them in Star Wars, right? Bermuda First, perhaps the unions, parties, charities, and other non-governmental organizations,
Yes.
NGOs. They're up against the finance ministry, Beltier, ABIC, ABER, Chamber of Commerce.
Right. I got you. I'm getting it.
So what happened, I did a lot of research to find that very answer.
Yes.
And you know what hurt my heart?
What's that?
The body that I look to. The only body that I think, to use the word influence, because the law that is written, you're looking to influence behavior.
Yes.
Because the government is not going to change law. Right? Other than, anyway, they're not likely to change law in interest against the companies. And I think they're seeing it as against the companies. That's the problem. Trickle down, if you have a trickle down thought about take care of rich people and they'll take care of poor people, then you can't take care of poor people.
No, you
Because
can't.
that'll anger your rich people. So here's the issue though. I have read a lot today on Beltier is the Bermuda basically international long-term reinsurers. ABIC, Association of Bermuda International Companies, and they are all that's ABIC we're going to talk about, and ABER is the Association of Bermuda International Reinsurers. So only reinsurance companies are in ABER. ABIC
Yes.
is everywhere else. So that's why ABIC is one of our work permits. ABIC is one of our payroll tax.
Yes.
Because their companies are all of those international companies. Well, they represent them.
Yes.
Now, those companies may be doing all kinds of things in terms of investment, all financial, right? And maybe some digital assets in terms of cryptocurrency or digital currencies. And they will be doing all sorts of niche business in the financial world. So they'll be having insurance. As an example, we have something now, well, been around for 15, called ILS, Insurance Linked Securities. So there's a whole new wave of financial products coming out of insurance, but linked to insurance. Okay. And then Bermuda led the way in something called captives. And these were, I'm not going to, that's just technical stuff. But basically, and that was just me letting some people listen, we're coming for you. No, but we're not coming. But I'm just saying, we can't let the Bermudan interest be treated the way it's been all this time. Not for 2034.
No.
We saw what Widow says, right? They give us all, we shouldn't ask for anything from them. And he's right from that perspective.
Yes.
Completely. Okay? They work for 7 years, get rid of term limits.
Yes.
Right? Well, I mean, let me just ask you, really.
Sure.
We're back to the Suriname country, right? So now you realize I like Suriname, and I go out there, and I'm head of operations. And ever since I've been out there, man, we've not only locked down the maraschino cherries and the mango market, but we're probably going to represent Suriname in all of the CARICOM countries.
Oh, wow.
Right? So our company is about to go for it. And I can only work in Suriname for 3 years.
Well, we're going to have to change that.
Well, you would want me to be able to work for, right?
Yes.
But there are Surinese people there who would want to do that job, who I should have been training to do my job, who could do it if they had trained. I'm non-Suriname person.
Yes.
Why in the world then should I, who haven't trained anybody, to take over? I knew my work permit was expiring in 3 years.
Yes.
What are we going to do, really?
Well, you know what? We're going to lobby.
Exactly. And what are we going to say?
We're going to say, listen, if you want us, we brought a lot of wealth to this country.
Keep going.
And that, if we have to move, this is what's going to happen.
All of that loss or give this one guy the ability to stay longer, right?
Exactly.
Cool. But then, really, you and I also know the diamond trader in Suriname, because he's from Bermuda, and he says, man, my chief guy's got to leave.
Yes.
And what do we tell him to say?
This is how you go about that. And we get that chief diamond guy to stay.
And he pays us
Yes.
for our consultancy advice.
Exactly.
But do you see now
Yes.
about the work that impacts Bermuda, for which Bermudians ought to have a path?
Yes.
Some work which might be so niche and so small that, okay, right, you'd have to get to that job from having another job, right? And then it's the, why am I being served by somebody who's not Irish if there's Irish pub?
Yes.
I think those are nuanced arguments that I think would reveal who we are as trying to find a balance on immigration, on work permits, on our economy.
Yes.
Right? And there are some not nice people in some of these places.
Yes, of course.
Okay? So I went on Bermuda First. It's a website.
Yes, okay.
Bermuda First is, let me just explain what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
No, let me say it differently. In other countries, a think tank is an objective organization of expertise and knowledge,
Yes.
networking and wisdom, that will say, hey, I think this is in the best interest of the people, of the country, of the future, of our children, of efficiency, of innovation, of security, of sustainability, and push it out. Now, somebody may or may not agree with it. The government may or may not agree. Others may or may not agree. But I would say that's down to the influence of the actual think tank.
Yes.
Got me? Well, in this country, we don't have that.
What you mean we don't have that?
Well, we have a Bermuda First, and I encourage anyone, just Google it. Go on Google and type Bermuda First. Or, I think it's called Bermuda Forward.
Yes.
And you'll see there's a new chairman been announced, but the old chairman is still chairing the board of directors on the actual website. Okay. So one page announces a new chair, the other page has the old chair. I called someone and read a list of the names who have chaired that organization. I didn't tell them what the organization was.
Right.
I asked them to tell me what organization did I just read them the board of, the members.
Right.
Mate. It was actually opposite.
Wow.
They thought those people were representing industry.
What?
Representing, right? Because of who they are and what they've done in the country.
Yes.
So I scoured the website, looked at all of their documentation, which doesn't go past 2020, so been inactive for the last 5 years, and looked at the stuff that they ought to make. I would love to be the executive director of Bermuda First think tank. But looking at the board, they and I would not get along.
You wouldn't stand a chance.
Not a chance. But what we need is that objective, educated, articulate institution that could say, hold on, listen. International companies who have fewer than 10 employees?
Yes.
Cool. Okay? ABER, where is the training program at the Bermuda College?
Yes.
I know, I saw ABER said they have a curriculum in the middle school, but what I'm getting at, how could we have had education reform be launched, have an issue, collapse, and we know about cosmetology. We know about the signature school. We don't, and thank God it's 4 o'clock. I just want to say this.
Yes.
If you want to understand the difference between public and private education,
yes,
one of the several differences, but just understand what I'm about to say is true. We have bias
Yeah.
You know BIOS, the ocean studies?
BIOS. Yes.
Remember them, right?
Yes, I do.
How many Bermudians do you think work there? Don't answer. How many students do you think, college students, are interns there from Bermuda or from America? Don't answer that either. And how much of the curriculum in the public education system produces Bermudians to really excel at BIOS? Don't answer that either. So if international business and our education system doesn't exactly make it easy to go from Cedar Bridge to IB,
Yes.
Cedar Bridge to the college program that will then get you into IB,
Yes.
and we talk about alternatives to that type of career, and BIOS, that's been there for 70 years,
Yes.
is there for studying the ocean. Is this common?
Yeah.
Okay? We have wrung out this system of, we have two pillars of international business and tourism. Bermudians are telling you there's not enough career opportunities, I can't afford retirement, cost of living is too high.
Yes.
We have to diversify the economy away from either service and hospitality,
Yes.
or moving rich people's money around the world. There's got to be something else.
Yes.
And we've been at this since the 80s. What do we think everybody's doing who goes away to school? Studying accountancy, actuarial studies?
Yeah.
Try to show me how many Bermudian general managers are in hotels today.
Yeah.
The ABIC, ABER, Build-Tier, and the BDA, the Bermuda Development Agency.
Yes.
The BDA is the concierge for companies to move to Bermuda. So if you're thinking about coming to Bermuda, you may contact a business development manager or someone at the BDA. They will say, right, you're going to need to incorporate this law firm, or here's a list of law firms, here's a list of real estate agents, here's blah, 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 bank, and,
Yes.
they set it all up for you to move here. And they are, and all the documents, everything I read, every website, everything, they scream, and I mean shout, we are business friendly and we got you, and this is the best place in the world to do business. They all do, and they're right to say and do that.
Yes.
Where's the flip side of the coin that makes all of that work for most of us?
Yes.
That's sustainable development.
Yes, it
the
is.
balance between Bermudian generational wealth gathering and
Yes.
earning,
Yes.
and immigration that I don't think we can get there. We have to get there.
Yeah.
We've done all we can doing it this way. And when 18 Bermudians get a new job and 560, that we clearly, when we've abused what Stuart Haywood feared, we'll zoom right past that.
Yes. Yes.
We've got to do something different, and I'm not sure that we're getting that innovative thinking currently. Critical or creative.
Yes.
It's going forward, Billy.
Yeah. Well, it's a good conversation.
You sure? Now, you said something, you're going to say something later. Have you said it? Did you not change your mind? You forgot?
I'll leave it till tomorrow.
You know, that's not what the deal was. You never let me get away like this.
No, but it's very crucial. It's crucial. It's timing.
Did I tell you that I had a pet mosquito?
Now you're going and done it, right?
What happened?
Pet mosquito.
Yeah, man, I called him Clint.
Clint.
Yeah.
So when you go Clint, he comes.
Yep. You want to know why I call him Clint?
Why you call him Clint?
Because he eats wood. Mosquitoes eat wood. Clint. No. See you tomorrow, really? You coming back? Even that way, you can come back?
Tell me you ain't gonna tell no more jokes.
I can't tell you that. I'm sorry. I cannot tell you that.
No, but I'll be back. Yeah. I'll be
Okay.
back.
Well, I could just leave it with, what you call fellas waiting to get a haircut. Remember that one?
No, let's. I'll see you tomorrow. Okay.
You sure you don't want to talk about that one?
I'll see you tomorrow.
No, man, let's do that. Okay, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You've been listening to The Corey Butterfield Show, where stimulating conversation is heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 2 p.m. here on Magic 102.7 FM.
It's 4:15 here in on Magic 102.7. I was about to say the worship room, but that's been over. And you just had Corey Butterfield's show, right? I'm just coming. It's Evangelist Nikita Robinson just coming to you with a message from the Bermuda Police Service. Just heard from Gary Moreno that for those of you that are heading towards St. George's in the easterly direction, well, those eastern parishes, that you are advised to use Harrington Sound Road. There has unfortunately been a 2-vehicle bike accident in the area of Shelley Bay, and that area is now been condensed to 1-lane traffic. So if you want to avoid that area, then you're advised again to use Harrington Sound Road. And instead of North Shore Road, if you're heading towards Shelley Bay or any of the eastern parishes. Again, you're advised to use Harrington Sound Road. There's been a 2-vehicle collision at Shelley Bay area, and in that area, it has now been reduced to just 1-lane traffic only. Again, this has been an announcement brought to you by the Bermuda Police Service. Safe travel, family. It's Magic 102.7.